Hello, my name is Dr. Uma, and today's topic is Introduction to Public System, Nature, Typologies, and Evolution with Global Perspectives. Today, we will understand what are public systems. Basically, public systems are organized arrangements through which government design, implement, and deliver collective goods and services to the society. These include administrative structures, legal mechanism, financial channels, and institutional mandates, and human resource that enable the state to uphold its constitutional, economic, and social responsibilities. They form the operational backbone of public governance, ranging from street level services like municipal water supply, vaccination drives, to strategic level planning like urban infrastructure, defense, or disaster response. Unlike private system, which organized based on efficiency, profit, it is more towards profit orientation. However, public system prioritize equity, public accountability, and democratic legitimacy. There are lot of similarity and differences between both of these two systems. What are the key features of these two are, first of all, universality is the basic feature of public systems. Universality. Services are delivered regardless of income, class, or geography. Everywhere these services are available without any discrimination of income, rich, poor, high class, low class, North Indian, South Indian. That means all the services are universally available without any discrimination. Second is accountability. Systems are answerable to legislature, judiciary, and citizens and audit institutions. Third, collective response. Public value, not profit, is primary goal. Independence operate across departments, agencies, and governmental ties. Third is dynamic adaptability, must evolve with the shifting socio-political and technological context. Global perspective. Every country, regardless of regime type, relies on public system through their quality, transparency, and inclusiveness. Very dramatically based on historical institutions and ideological differences. Now we move towards the typology of public system. It is a multi-dimensional classification. First of all, there is a functional typology. Public systems are often classified by the nature of the services they provide. First type is welfare, and its role is to redistribution and poverty alleviation, such as Manrega, PDS, and there are other example internationally are UBI in Finland and NHS in UK. So this is the another typology. There is regulatory, which enforce compliance and standards. For example, RBI, SEBI, and in US there is another type of institution like SEC in US and Ofcom in UK. Another is developmental. These are the functional typology. The developmental typology signify which is related to the infrastructure and overall growth of public. Niti Aayog is completely associated with developmental typology. They design, they plan, and they, for example, they may be talking about smart cities. They may be thinking about establishing the system towards development. They may be establishing good infrastructure. However, there is another type of typology is security and legal, which is which aims to maintain law and order. For example, police, courts, and armed forces are the basic example of security and legal system. Next is environmental and health system. The, its basic aim is to managing ecological and health risks. The example of governmental response towards these type of typology is Ayushman Bharat. This is the another term or another policy which is being implemented by the government. So structural typology, if we want to make the difference based on its structure, we have ministries and line departments. centralized policy and execution arms. The ministries are like the basics power center powerhouse, and they have all the authority. They formulate the policies, and they implement all the new emerging policies, and they have specialized in their own field. Suppose if education department or education ministry, they are given all the authority and responsibility for for this sector only. Autonomous institution, it is independent and expert led bodies. ISRO, AIMS, they have they like autonomous institution means they have to some extent they are autonomous. They are independent in taking decision for their budgetary allocation, for their other decisions which are being taken in the institution. Although they are not completely free or independent or autonomous in taking the decision, they have to some extent they are autonomous. Next is statutory bodies. Now what are statutory bodies? These are the statute bodies which are created by the law with defined mandates. NHRC, National Human Rights Commission, this is a statutory body, which means the statute is being passed by the legislature, and they get their powers or mandates from that law. This is the statutory bodies. Next is regulatory agencies. These agency oversight bodies ensuring fair play. TRAI, Telecom Regulatory Authority of India, SEBI, are the example of regulatory bodies. Now, what is the major area, major concern of regulatory bodies? Regulatory bodies are for the regulations. They formulates the law and they implements, and they give expertise. Suppose we take an example of TRAI, or Telecom Regulatory Authority of India. Telecom Regulatory Authority of India make sure that there is not a single player who formulates its policy and finish all the other competitors. They maintain a system where there is no player, and all there is a fair competition. There is that everyone have their chances uh, to compete in the system. Next is PSU and SOEs, public these are the state owned enterprises with commercial or strategic roles. Next is local government, panchayats, municipalities, county courts. Like globally, county councils are the known as local government, is part of local government. So there is proper law to implement local governance system. Now, if we try to understand the third type of division or third type of typology, that is digital typology. With e-governance integration, public system can be classified as traditional, file-based, hierarchical system, and second is digital embedded back end automation, that is PFMS and GSTN. And third is digital citizen finance portal, direct digital services like Umang, Estonia's residency. Fourth is AI driven digital typology. It is predictive and prescriptive system, and it is available like in Singapore's smart nations. So third part, if we try to understand about this typology, is evolution of public system in India. India's public system have evolved through four brand stages, shaped by the colonial legacy, democratic tradition, and departmental priorities and global influences. So if we try to understand the evolution of public system in India, is first of all we have to look towards the colonial era, pre 1947. So, public systems were designed for empirical control, not citizen welfare. And revenue collection is the major area where they used to they have established the this type of system. Zamindari system was there in the system, and local enforcement, they established Indian Penal Code 1860, that is IPC, based on which all the laws are implemented during that phase. Third is infrastructural railway port were prioritized. So just try to understand, they were not at all interested in giving the welfare of its citizen. They were there for their own benefits. They established railways, ports, just to establish themselves and to make their system more strong in India. So indigenous system of governance was deliberately marginalized. If we try to understand the system after 1947, that is post independence and Nehruvian state building, so inspired by the Fabian socialism, India built a strong public sector with state led planning. So creation of institute like IITs, PSUs, LIC, public railways and public health infrastructure. 5-year plan aimed to direct complete capital and human development. Governance remained central and hierarchical and input driven. Now, third, if we try to understand liberalization and reform phase 1991, it is like a phase